What's up? It's me, your boy Ronnie. What's up, folks? What's up? My name is Ronico Taylor, and you're listening to Tired Granola Bar Podcast. Woohoo! Yay! What up, folks? I said it like twice now, but what up, guys? It's me, your boy Ronico Taylor. I am the host of Tired Granola Bar Podcast, where you get all your news about every single origin story on Earth. And today, if you're here, you probably don't know him, but I'm gonna introduce you to him. His name is Julian McGinty. I believe I said your last name right, but if I didn't, Julian, you can correct me in the post. I'll put little captions down if I get it wrong. But anyways, today I'm speaking with Julian McGinty. We had him on. I had him on about maybe last summer, maybe last August. I released an interview with the band Bluff Street, and if you saw any of the previous ones, I had on Bevan. I had Bevan, aka Brevin, and or the reverse. Honestly, I had him on just a couple episodes ago, and now I'm having Julian on. They were both a part of Bluff Street, and yeah, so we're gonna talk to him about his life. Why drumming? What's the drumming got to do with his life? And then I believe I'm gonna in a week or two, I'm gonna be having Braden on. Braden is the guitarist who was in like a bazillion bands. I know I should be promoting only Julian right now. I'm a really bad promoter, but I'm just surprised by that. But anyways, that's gonna have to wait until that's up. So if you want to see that and you're actually intrigued, subscribe, like, and go listen to my Spotify. My Spotify is dead as hell, people, but it still is open. Something just won't let me, my heart just won't let me delete it for some reason. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Check out every Wednesday the episodes, and welcome to Tired Granola Bar Podcast. Hit it, Jeffrey. The first thing I want to ask is, like, when we were talking, like, back in, like, August, you mentioned that, like, music was kind of, like, meditational. Like, you talk more on that if you're comfortable?
Uh, for me personally, I think a lot. Really just a lot of words going fast in my head. I really have no other way of explaining it. But when I'm sitting behind a drum set or sitting listening to music, it feels like that's the only thing I can think of, and so it really just shuts me up and gives me something to focus on, kind of. And so it's really just me getting immersed by it and being able to take a step back and not to worry about stress of day-to-day life.
So it's just like, it's just mainly just, it's kind of like, I'm not gonna say the common enemy, but like it's just like you have like the one main thing to focus on, and that's like completely like, is that basically is what you're just saying, right?
Yeah, it's just
But is it like meditational, emotional? Like what kind of like stress would you say, or is it like different?
I really, to tell you the truth, I don't know the difference. I don't know. I'm a chronic overthinker, I'd say, and so it's kind of hard to overthink if you're concentrating so hard on something.
It's just always been something like, overthinking, and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Since when, if I can ask?
Really, as long as I can remember. I'm really subconscious over a lot of things, and so I'm constantly thinking like, do they notice this? Do they notice that? And so I'm really bad, like right when I get on stage before I perform, and then I think the second I start playing, I just kind of shut my brain off, and it's really nice.
Just kind of focus on the music, pretty much.
Yeah, instead of appearance or if I said something cool or not, or if I was funny or not. It's really nice.
Is it more like just the notes, the beat, like what kind of what part of it is it that you think is like most like mesmerizing? I guess.
No, good question. not exactly sure to tell you the truth. I love music and I love playing it, and especially if it's a song I enjoy playing, I whew, uh feel of it more than anything. Kind of the art of moving myself in a way that just makes it sound great is kind of what makes me like it so much.
Like I've been getting into like music recently, and like I kind of agree with like music can be like even though like I don't think I'm like there yet, but like I would can like at least where you would consider maybe you like a musician. I don't know if you do, but like you could at least because you've been playing longer. But I agree, it does at least feel like it's at least like it's when you're like when you're in the zone, like even if it's just like
Oh yeah.
songwriting, it can still at least like take your mind off things for just a second.
Well, I'd say more with performing. With songwriting, I'm really self-conscious with how my drums sound, and I'm constantly thinking, "Oh, will it sound better if I do this?" Blah blah blah, blah. And that's something I struggle with a lot. Is coming up with something new and being happy with it. Uh, I, I have this horrible thing where whatever I make, even if it's something completely new, or if I, cover a song, I think it's not done well enough, and I just think, "Oh, I can do so much better." Like nothing is ever good enough for me.
Take me back to like I guess like you don't have to bring me back to the memories, but like
Yeah.
what's the first thing you remember?
First thing I remember is watching SpongeBob in front of my TV. But I really didn't get into music until about fourth grade or so when I finally got those little recorders that every little kid had for their music class.
Yeah.
That's when it started, and then I was one of the best, I guess, because I kind of practiced, and then I started playing piano, and then from there it's basic percussion. But I've always kind of been immersed by music. I mean, I always had headphones on. Uh, our vocalist Riley had this huge thing with me for a while. It's because I'd always have an AirPod in because I just love music so much. Uh, yeah, I'd say I spent a lot of time just listening to music, doing one thing or another, cleaning or going on runs. I'd say the biggest effect on music my childhood had is how much I was surrounded by it. Just always hearing it, always hearing something different. Really, it was something else.
So you would listen to like music while you're playing music?
Oh yeah, like
is that what you meant? Like when you had the AirPod in? Is that what you kind of were talking about?
Oh, no, I mean, no, not that, but like when we just be hanging out or talking or grabbing dinner.
Yeah, I think I do that. I don't think I'm any different, so yeah, I can't judge. But like, what is that like? Was it in your like when talking on your family a little bit later, I guess. Like, but like, what would you say like? Was it in your family? Like, do you have anyone who does like play music, or are you kind of like
I'm actually
the one person who like got interested in it?
Yeah, I'm the only musician in my family.
Like kind of made you decide like I want to do this or at least play, because you stated like even if you don't get a real job, even if you do get a real job, you don't want to ever give it up, at least where you are currently.
Yeah, I wasn't the most athletic kid. Like I can run. I was a pretty good, long distance runner, but I wasn't strong. I mean, I was pretty short too growing up, and I was skinny. And so I just kind of thought, well, if I'm not going to be good at sports, what else could I be good at? What else could I work on? And so then music was kind of the next option. And then I enjoyed doing it so much, I kept, doing it, getting better.
You usually only see like main singer, like Riley, for instance. Like she's like I think pretty much the leader of Bluff Street. You always see like the interviews with like the lead guitarist and like maybe the people who are like the lead singers and just people in the lead. Like, but like you never like at least none that I've seen, like none that like no drummers are really highlighted. Why do you think that is? Or like why do you think you rarely see like drummers being like in the spotlight that much? Of course there are, but not as many as others.
I mean, yeah, there are a couple pretty big ones, but not quite sure. Maybe it's because sitting back at the stage, I suppose. Really, besides Buddy Rich, I can't really think of any of the drummers that kind of love the band. Buddy Rich is a jazz drummer, by the way, if you didn't know.
I think I recognize the name.
And then you also have Ringo's all-star band, Ringo Starr. He's from Beatles.
Oh yeah, 100%. I love his music.
Yeah. But yeah, besides that, I can't really think of any other drummers that would leave, but probably mostly because they're just kind of in. I'm not sure. I don't know. Me personally, I'm not in church because I don't write the lyrics. I know nothing about notes or chords. I just kind of sit down and play the drums, and if they don't like it, I change it. That's about it. Uh, and I'm not gonna speak for any other drummers, but I'm sure it's kind of similar to that.
You said you don't really you don't really know how to like write notes, but like how do you play them if you don't know how to write them?
Well, I mean, I was in a high school band and all throughout middle school as well, so I know how to read music, but I've horrible with guitar. I mean, my fingers they just can't move like anything. Uh, I've tried multiple times to pick it up and with an acoustic, and it just sounds so bad. And so I never really learned any chords, and because of that, I never learned about chord progressions or anything.
You got small hands or something?
No, I just have really bad ligaments. Uh, Actually, I had two ankle surgeries because of it.
Um,
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah, it's just
Uh,
they're not as meticulous. I don't know. That's why I quit pianos because it was just really rough.
I think I just quit piano when I was young because I didn't like piano. So,
That's true.
so there is it being therapeutic, like kind of what makes it like gives you like your grind like to like you stated that's kind of like the main reason you do it. It's just nice to play, but is that like your main grind probably?
Like the main reason I play.
Yeah, like why is there no other reason really?
Uh, no, there's a lot of different other reasons.
Like what?
Uh, I met a lot of people and I made a lot of friends, and obviously it's just a lot of different opportunities to do more things. But besides from it just being fun and being, good for my mental health, that's probably about it. It's just like the people that I meet and the opportunities that I get.
What do you mean by opportunities? Like do you like have you ever like besides like is it just gigs or
Oh yeah, gigs and meeting new people, and then obviously interviews like this. And then I was in a magazine and newspaper, and I was just like seeing myself there. I was like, oh wow, that's a well, pretty neat.
is it college hard when balancing this or like I guess talking just personal like how is college?
Well, with me personally, balancing college and music isn't too bad necessarily. I only have to commit, maybe 3 to 4, maybe upwards of 6 hours a week, which is really nothing. But I can understand with other musicians like Braden, because he's in like Braden's our guitarist for Blood Street. He's in like 6 other bands, man. He's just constantly going. I don't know how he does it and is able to balance college and all that. I mean, phew, that's something else. But
Yeah, yeah.
with
I'm
me,
having them on next week and it's insane.
yeah, it's just But with me personally, I don't really struggle with it at all. I mean, I could probably spare a bit more time for practice and things, but I mean, schoolwork is important, and I need a job in the future, and so that's kind of my priority.
Do you want music to be like somewhat your job, or do you want it maybe
Oh
just be
no,
like
no.
something?
If I could, I would. Oh, for sure. If I could, I would. Like, if I could just go on tour and do nothing but play the drums for the next 10 years and be able to live off that for who knows how long, that's what I would do. I mean, if it was feasible for me to have a career as a drummer, I would love that. But sometime in my life, I kind of sat back and thought, and was like, I love doing this. This is a great hobby, but I need to be realistic and I need to set goals for myself.
What do you think your life would be like if you could do like? I'm just curious. Like, what? How do you picture your life if you could play? And you know, like, let's just say like you go on tour and stuff. Because I think that you heard of Serotonin? They're
Yeah.
just going on tour like maybe just a week or two ago. At least the time of recording right now. So and they're only like 18. So if they
Wow.
can do it, it's pretty realistic.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure, but my family doesn't really come from money, and so I'm really the only one supporting myself. And so I huge pessimist. I mean, when I look at the future, I think, okay, this is the worst thing that could happen. That's going to happen. I need to prepare for that thing. And so, I just kind of am a lot more grounded, and I don't dream as much as I should. I really wish I could, but
Also told me like you work in kind of some kind of ecology. If you correct me, what's it? How does it said? It's hard to spell it out.
oh, what was that again?
You said like the other day. Remember when I asked you like what did you work like what are you enrolled in college? You said something about like
Oh,
kinesiology or something.
kinesiology.
Kind of what?
Kinesiology.
Okay, you're gonna have to say that for me because I can't say that.
Yeah.
But I know I looked it up and it's like it's about the it's that's like
Study of human
basically
movement.
the way the body works and
Yeah.
that's pretty much. But like, is that what you want to like? Is that kind of what you set for yourself? Like, I know that some people like some people like their parents make them get like certain jobs even if they don't like it. But like, is that kind of what you want to do, or is that just like your backup plan?
That's actually really interesting you say that. So last year I was an accounting major and I was really struggling. And I kind of looked at myself in the mirror and it's like, this is what's going to make me money in the future. This is what I'm going to be able to do, but I'm going to hate myself for doing it. And that's just something I'm not going to be able to pursue. And so I kind of sat back and I thought of what I like to do. And, I like playing music. I like listening to music, but I also like working out and showing people how to work out. And so I, from there, pivoted to my new major, kinesiology and exercise science. And right now, I'm actually taking my personal training certification. So I'll be able to be a personal trainer next summer. And so this is really something I'd love to do in the future. I mean, be a personal trainer and then for a little while and then maybe work myself up to an internship and then maybe I'm still kind of deciding in the future because it's a new change for me, but I'm thinking athletic training right now, or maybe even strength and conditioning for my future.
What does that entail for like the people who don't know?
Uh, so strength and conditioning, I work with same thing athletic training, I suppose, would be working with athletes and trying to get the best out of them. You know, make sure that they can be performing at the highest level that they could be for competitions, whether it's a track meet or a football game or anything like that.
You're always like just focused on what needs to happen. You're that is pretty much what the main gist of that. You always just have something like the little devil in the back of your mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's a safe bet for me. I mean, if I wanted to gamble, I would, try and join other bands, devote myself more to music, and then try and make a living off that. But this is just the safer option. It's something that I know is going to be almost a guaranteed job in the future with income that I'm not going to have to worry about.
Yeah, it's always like been something like that. Like I have tried to like find jobs like maybe be an editor, but then like they're like you're saying, I always have to like kind of be realistic. So
Yeah,
it's even though it's not, even though you like it, kind of has to, the devil kind of has to take over sometimes.
yeah. It's just that voice in the back of my head. What if I'm not good
Yeah.
enough? What if people aren't going to like my drumming? You know, what if I'm not going to be able to make enough money from different gigs or stuff? It's just always there.
Has what about like right after like I think you're like a junior if I remember right, sophomore, junior,
Sophomore in
sophomore.
college.
Okay, like because and that was only I was like that was like maybe 3 years ago. I don't know how the years line up, but like 2 years ago, you were just out of high school. Was that the same back then, or like were you more optimistic?
I was actually a lot less optimistic. I was getting into high school and I thought I was done with music. I was kind of just focused on, okay, let me go to college, let me get my degree, let me just start working immediately, save a lot of money, retire early, rest of my life done. I kind of, thought there wasn't much else to the rest of my life. I thought I was kind of done being a kid, turning 18, should have got to pay taxes. I just kind of got to go on and be an adult and stop doing what I like to do and do what I need to do.
People when they say 18, it's always like, okay, your life is over, get to work.
Yeah. That's kind of what I assumed it would be. I thought I'd stop enjoying myself as much and just kind of grow up.
We feel like, which I can't really talk. I'm almost 19 and I'm not gonna graduate until then, but I still feel like like I'm with just you basically like you're saying you gotta be realistic. At least I get a little more time, but I still get that feeling. Like you don't have forever. And
Yeah.
that can be scary as hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think like you said like Drumline was like a big thing? Like there's a little like scene where he said, if you didn't watch Drumline like right now, get off, go which that's really bad for business. So you shouldn't do that again. But why do you think was what? No, son. Was drumline a big like thing for you? Like, because you
Oh
said
yeah,
that's kind of what introduced you in a way.
yeah, Nick Cannon and all his swagger. That was probably my favorite movie growing up. That and the SpongeBob movie, just both amazing. 10 out of 10.
SpongeBob movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. It doesn't get better than those two movies, in my opinion. Really, if I had a letterbox account, those would be both 5 stars and whole essay about how everyone should be watching them. Yeah, no, I'd say that was probably my biggest influence. It's just that one movie, growing up and watching it, and like I want to be just like him. I remember my mom telling me a story about how I was saying that. And then probably high school started, and I was thinking about joining the jazz band. I started watching Whiplash, my favorite movie of all time right now, uh, and that really kind of reoriented my goals and kind of made me want to think, oh, I need to be great, I need to be perfect, I need to have this down, and kind of I don't know. I really don't know how to put it, but I just love that movie so much, and it kind of is an inspiration for me when I'm kind of feeling demotivated and feeling like I'm not good enough. I kind of think of that and think, wait, I'm just not working hard enough, and I could always be doing better.
Now, if I could ask, where the hell does SpongeBob get into this?
It's just the Bob, man. You gotta love the Bob. He knows his stuff.
Bob,
The Bob. You gotta love the guy.
you're the guest, so I'll take your word for it. But
Yeah. You gotta love the Bob, all right?
I think the one I do love the movie where like I do love the like that when they're in the time travel machine. That I like that one the best.
No, I don't know. My whole childhood was oriented around SpongeBob and music. I have no other way of putting it.
I think I was gonna go there, and then my mom. If I think that would have been me, and my mom just did. If my mom actually let me, like my dad didn't care. He didn't say anything. But like, unless I think I wouldn't even know what SpongeBob was. She thought it was like that. She still believes to this day it killed brain cells.
I mean, it might have. I'm not the brightest.
Yeah, bad at math, I guess.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are outside your drum set?
That's a really good question. You sent me that, and that's the one I kind of stayed up for hours just thinking about it. I really couldn't think of an answer.
Ow, did I cut you that deep?
I don't know. Well, it wasn't even just outside of drumming. It was just who I am in general. And the only thing that I could think of is that I'm still working on myself and that I'm still improving day to day and still trying to be a better version of myself.
What's that version you think?
Who knows? I mean, times change. I don't know what's in the future for me. You know, ideally in my future, I want to be this, I don't know, run of the mill husband, work a job, come back, wife and kids, white picket fence type home. That, that's my ideal version of myself in the future. Right now, I don't know, it's not really possible for me to attain, but I don't, I'd say outside of drumming, I'm someone that's ever evolving, trying to better myself and not stay where I am, improve.
You want to? Do you want to become more optimistic as it goes? Like, obviously, you want to still be realistic, but like, do you still want to have like? Do you want to somehow still keep like some dreams to yourself?
Oh yeah, for sure. I remember last spring it was in a really dark place because I look at something and I look at my future or I look at something else that was going on and be like, oh, that's not gonna work out. Oh, it's gonna be bad. Oh, I'm gonna fuck up. And I was just in a really bad place because that's all I could think about. And so I kind of had to change my mindset to be happier and to actually make progress. And I realized that if I kept in that pessimistic attitude and kept doubting myself, I would never be able to obtain anything that I wanted to do. I would just kind of sit and be sedentary.
Would you play any other instruments?
Like if I put enough effort into it, I probably could. One trick pony. I'd like to fully master drumming, I'd say, and be confident in myself to be able to play a lot of different genres before I try and pick up something else.
Yeah, for sure. What kind of music do you like? What kind of like music do you think you you resonate or like you listen to the most? Because Brendan, like I like personally myself, like I listen to whatever. If it sounds good, I'll add it to my playlist. If it doesn't, I'll take it off like a month later. But like, and like I've talked to Brendan. He said the kind of he was the same way. So I would love to hear like what's your opinion on that?
It honestly so much depends on my mood. Uh, I kind of have like 4 or 5 different playlists for when I'm gonna be playing. Uh, at the gym, there's 2. There's one with some like really heavy metal and stuff, and that's on like days where I really just need to focus, get my workout done. Maybe I'm going for personal record, some other stuff, and then I also have another gym playlist. It's also rock, rock, new metal, some lighter stuff, and that's really what I listen to in the gym, or if I'm in the mood. Well, I also love some R&B and then pop and stuff. I'm a huge like Frank Ocean fan. Love that guy.
Yeah.
And also alternative, pretty big into.
What is alternative? Like I've never actually got the gym. Like what's the like definite like what does it sound like?
Really, I couldn't tell you. The way I come to think of it is not pop. Nothing too preppy. It's bands that kind of have their own sound modified to it.
It's like indie.
Yeah, indie alternative. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much all my questions. Thank you for giving up like 30 minutes. My timer says, and I'd love to have back on. I'd love to maybe do this eventually again.
Yeah, just shoot me an email or something. Let me know.
Yeah, no worries.